And here is the Writer's Almanac for Monday. It's the 2nd of September, 2019. Labor Day. First celebrated back in 1882, big parade, New York City, under the banners, Labor creates all wealth, and 8 hours for work, 8 hours for rest, 8 hours for recreation. It was on this day, 1901, Theodore Roosevelt uttered his famous words, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." He was vice president giving a speech at the Minnesota State Fair. He said, "If the American nation will speak softly and yet continue to build and keep at a pitch of the highest training a thoroughly efficient Navy, the Monroe Doctrine will go far." The Monroe Doctrine, which dated back to 1823, President Monroe warning European powers not to interfere in Latin America. The Monroe Doctrine, which took on a life of its own and became a central part of America's foreign policy. The precedent for U.S. intervention in Panama and Colombia, Venezuela, Nicaragua, El Salvador, and Cuba. Less than 2 weeks after that speech at the State Fair, President McKinley was assassinated in Buffalo, and Teddy Roosevelt found himself the youngest person ever to be president of the United States. And his big stick diplomacy, as it came to be known, was the centerpiece of American foreign policy under his administration. On another occasion, Roosevelt said, "If a man continually blusters, if he lacks civility, a big stick will not save him from trouble, and neither will speaking softly avail if back of the softness there does not lie strength and power." In 1666, the Great Fire of London started, about 1 o'clock in the morning in a bakery on Pudding Lane. Buildings at the time nearly all wooden, the fire spread quickly to the wharves on the Thames, where they stored oil and hemp and hay and timber, where the fire exploded, and over the next 3 days destroyed nearly 2 square miles in central London, about 13,000 homes. The fires may have halted the progress of the plague which had been ravaging London for the past few years. The rats and their fleas which carried the disease perished in large numbers. Fire destroyed St. Paul's Cathedral. Its lead roof melted, flowed away down Ludgate Hill, and the architect Christopher Wren came and rebuilt it. Here's a poem for today by Jim Daniels entitled Cosmetic. Last week my mother had eyebrows tattooed on. She asks how they look. She's legally blind. I could tell her anything. It's been raining all day. Shame's mad swirl circling the house. No more cigarettes, coffee, no more booze. You've got to keep going, I tell her. I could be Annie and her cute red curls. You can bet your bottom dollar. Pretty soon I'll be tap dancing on the coffee table or up in my old room crying. She's fingering the earphones of her books on tape machine. She's been saving up things to tell me. She ticks them off like the giant grocery list graffitied to her fridge. I've collected scraps of her old handwriting, the graceful swirls of confidence, 75 years of good vision. She's rounding everything off into simple shapes. I'm staring at the all-weather eyebrows, a cartoon looking for the punchline. I run my finger over them. She startles, then relaxes. It made her sneeze, my father offers up from the kitchen, where he's spending a lot more time. Your father stopped saying bless you pretty fast. Good, great, fantastic, exquisite. The eyebrows to top all eyebrows, the king and queen of eyebrow. Listen to the rain, she says. Just listen to it, coming down. A poem by Jim Daniels, Cosmetic, from his collection Birthmarks, published by Boa Editions and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.